This is a quick visit to what is now becoming more of Sunnyvale's ghost towns. Just a few months ago, this was a thriving, low-income, working community with children, and a man I talked to who lived over here, who'd been here like 25 years and had worked in some of the local markets. He wasn't on welfare. He was documented, I believe, but many were undocumented people here, but living and working in the community. Now it's abandoned as they wait for the developer who purchased it some time ago to take out all of these homes that were a community of poor people, and I think it's going to be turned into apartments or maybe another hotel. The point is that the people who were living here and paying just a few $100s a month to $1,500 a month in rent are now displaced to who knows where. Rent in this area, within a quarter mile from here, over on Henderson, for a 2-bedroom apartment where you could fit maybe 4 people, runs about $2,500 to $3,000 a month. Obviously more than most of these minimum wage workers could afford, but they could afford, for the most part, to live here. People could walk out from here, go 100 yards, and take a bus on El Camino to work, but no more. I just spoke with a Chinese woman who's been here for about 9 years, she said. Her husband works in construction, travels a lot. She says there are only herself, her daughter, and her husband that are left here, and they're going to be moving by later, early in the fall. There are 2 families here now, and they've had to scatter to Stockton, Sacramento, and other places because there's no affordable housing here. A ghost town. The Chinese woman I talked with mentioned that each of the people here owned these relatively decrepit trailers, but they had to pay for the space, and she said she and her husband, for that small space, were paying $1,100 a month. Now that it's been sold and they're going to have to leave within a few months, there's settlement talks going to try and figure out how much to pay these people for these trailers that really cannot be moved to a new space. Real pity. It's never been well kept up, partly because of the fact, I would think, that the owner of the property didn't need to. It stayed full just with people who had no other place to go. They paid a small amount, I'm sure, relative to other things, for a quote-unquote home here, and then have been essentially left to fend for themselves as Sunnyvale builds more apartments, more condos, more commercial space, and turns the affordable housing, the low-income housing like this, into a ghost town. It's worth noting that a couple of blocks away from here on Henderson, there's a nice trailer park, but they're rental homes. And those rental homes won't go for a 2-bedroom mobile home sitting on a place for about $2,500 a month. Again, something not easily affordable for the workers in this area, where median income is $100,000 a year. This essentially is what, ghost town looks like when the people who were here have had to move out and go somewhere else. But it also shows the size of what the quote-unquote home was that they were able to live in, and many of these people with children. The bathroom. And again, keep in mind that these people were required to pay $1,100 a month and more for the ability to quote-unquote live in a place like this. And now they don't even have that benefit. What's your name again?
Andres.
Andreas has lived here for 15 years. Yeah, with a friend, and the friend has been here like 25 years. And are you one of the longest tenants here? One of the longest people here? Long time though.
Yeah, long time.
And you worked at restaurants around and so on. Mm-hmm. And now you don't know where you're going to go.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's and you were paying your friend about $300 a month, yeah?
Right here.
To be able to stay here with him?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andreas. I appreciate it. So this is the neighborhood. This is what's right next door. And over here, you can see the ghost town. And Andreas said what he heard is there's going to be a large apartment block that's going to be on here, and my guess is, like other places, they'll be $2,500 to $4,000 a month. So the end of what's going on is here. You see they've marked the trailers where no one is living. We were here a week ago, and now they're able to start the process of the removal of the ghost town. So this is basically what we're talking about, as they take these trailers that are essentially not worth anything, that people owned, and I think they've paid them something, but I don't know how much. Certainly not enough to be able to find a place. And this, within a couple of weeks, will be all cut out, and people will be elsewhere with their lives, and this is going to be a 140-unit apartment complex, without doubt more than $3,000 a month for an apartment the size that people would theoretically need for a family. And this is Sunnyvale's newest ghost town.